In recent weeks, U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has repeatedly expressed his desire for the U.S. to take ownership and control of Greenland, an autonomous territory of Denmark. Trump first floated the idea of the U.S. buying Greenland in 2019. At the time, he claimed, quite correctly, that he was not the first U.S. president to come up with the idea. Greenland's strategic location has been of great value to the U.S. since the early days of the Cold War. In 1946, then U.S. President Harry Truman offered to buy the territory of Greenland for $100 million in gold. The Danes are said to have had much the same reaction to that offer as they did in 2019 and 2025. No thank you. A sovereign nation buying territory from another may seem strange today, but there are many cases where this has happened throughout history. The United States acquired much of its current territory in the early 19th century. Louisiana and vast swathes of North American land were purchased from France in 1803 for $15 million, about $416 million in today's dollars. About half a century later, the United States paid Mexico large sums of money for various territories after the Mexican-American War. The United States also purchased Alaska from Russia in 1867 for $7.2 million, over $150 million today. In 1917, it purchased the U.S. Virgin Islands from Denmark for $25 million, over $600 million today, in gold coins. What is the value of a territory? Valuing a country or an autonomous territory like Greenland is no easy task. Unlike companies or assets, countries embody a mix of tangible and intangible elements that do not lend themselves to simple economic measurement. A good place to start is gross domestic product, GDP. Simply put, GDP is the value of all final goods and services produced in an economy in a given time, usually a year. But it is not just about GDP. It is also about the capacity to continue to generate value in the future. Greenland's productive resources include not only the existing businesses, government, and workers used to generate current GDP, estimated at around $3.2 trillion in 2021, but also the difficult-to-measure capacity to improve future GDP. This will depend on how productive these resources are in the future. There are other attributes of value not captured in GDP. These include the quality of its capital, both human and infrastructure, quality of life, natural resources, and strategic location. Beyond what already exists, from a market perspective, it is the resources that are still untapped that make Greenland valuable. Greenland has been mining coal for decades, with large and proven reserves. The subsoil has been shown to contain rare earths, precious metals, graphite, and uranium. In addition to coal mining, there are natural resources of gold, silver, copper, lead, zinc, graphite, and marble. Finally, there is the potential for major oil exploitation in Greenland's waters. None of this potential is reflected in Greenland's current GDP. Historically, land sales have often benefited ruling elites rather than ordinary citizens. In modern democracies, it is almost impossible to sell land if local citizens oppose the idea. Such democracies operate on the principle that national assets should serve the people, not the rulers. Selling a territory today would require demonstrating clear and tangible benefits to the population, a difficult task in practice. Nationalism also plays a powerful role. Land is deeply tied to national identity, and selling it is often seen as a betrayal. Governments, as guardians of national pride, are reluctant to entertain offers, no matter how tempting. In today's world, buying a country or one of its territories can be little more than a thought experiment. Nations are political, cultural, and historical entities that resist commercialization. Greenland may theoretically have a price, but the real question is whether such a transaction could ever align with modern values and realities.